All right. The word of the day. Well, shout out to the desert floor and 50-mile-an-hour winds and the sandstorms. Gotta love it. Sounds like I'm near the beach by the ocean when the wind goes through these palm trees. I think it's a nice aesthetic, it's like background music. Hopefully the wind's not going through my microphone to where you can't really hear me, so I got to talk into the microphone and make it sound saucy, right? But the word of the day is correlation. Correlated. They say Bitcoin, well, the cesspool of information, the gatekeepers, the people that want you to pay $10,000 for their program, will tell you, probably during loss review, that Bitcoin is correlated to the stock market. They'll also say Bitcoin is digital gold. And then there's me, the one that wants to come in here and clear everything up, eliminate the confusion so that people can get to the business. It's necessary. I'm one step away from becoming viral. It's like, do I really want the smoke? Well, it's better to do it if I'm anonymous, right? Because if you bark up a tree, it will fall on you. So I'll just say that. Be careful with who you playing around with. Because it only takes a bag. Correlation. Is Bitcoin correlated to the stock market, or is the stock market correlated to crypto, to Bitcoin? What is the stock market? The stock market is indexes that have different branches. And you see, normally we would go with the S&P 500 because it's consisting of 500 companies. A nice middle zone, right? It's the breadth of the market. Now that I know what it is, I can explain it the way it needs to be explained to eliminate the confusion. So why don't I put the S&P 500 first? Because the price is not correlated to Bitcoin. I put the Dow Jones first because the price is more reflective of the price of Bitcoin. Of course, I have to formulate all this. I have to come up with a concept that I can create a video about. How the stock market is correlated to Bitcoin, the new financial system, cryptocurrency/digital currency. We're going digital. Everything is transforming over to digital and being placed on the blockchain, the new financial system. That's why I have the Dow Jones, the US 30. I have that. It only consists of 30 companies. But look at the price, 50,000. See, it's at 60, 50, 40. But Bitcoin's supposed to be tech, and it is tech. It's software. It's not hardware. It's digitally programmed money. It doesn't have a value. It's just built out of nowhere. No, this is pre-planned. And it has a futures contract. Just like the Dow Jones has a futures contract. Just like the NASDAQ has a futures contract. Just like the S&P has a futures contract. Just like the Russell 2000 has a futures contract. Bitcoin now has a futures contract. It just got released 2 years ago. Because XRP had to fight the SEC, right? Ripple had to fight the SEC to prove that it was a commodity and not a security. Once XRP defeated the SEC, Bitcoin and Ethereum were allowed to release their ETFs. They weren't allowed to release their ETFs until they were proved to be commodities. Very special stuff here, folks. And it's not being explained enough on social media. The truth is the truth, and the truth will set you free. One step away from being viral. Not that I'm here for that. It's just I'm the best. I should go viral. So there it is. Now, the price, because we have the Dow Jones, which is called the US 30 companies. You have the NASDAQ 100, which is tech, which is 100 companies. You have the S&P 500, which is the breadth of the market, 500 companies. And then the Russell 2000, the small caps, 2,000 companies. And you see the charts. They look fairly similar. And if you look at the Bitcoin chart, you see it already took its dip. And it doesn't mean that that's the bottom. It could go down further. But is the stock market leading crypto, or is crypto leading the stock market? I present you the information so that you can have the conversation with yourself. Forget about what the predators are talking about. I'm not worried about none of that, because they're going to get what they deserve, right? Sooner or later, you're going to have to pay the piper for all that fraud. And you hurt a lot of people with that fraudulence, and you don't want to stop. You want to keep bamboozling people. Vengeance is mine, said the Lord. It'll come. The price. The most correlated stock market index, right? Because you put these indexes together, you have to put the US 30, the NASDAQ 100, the S&P 500, and the Russell 2000 together to create what's called the stock market. Now you got Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, HBAR. You put those together and you have the crypto market. And then you'll have the stable coins, right? Digital dollars, the digital dollar, the digital yuan, the digital yen, the digital euro. And then you're going to have the currencies, digital, right? The market, the currency market, the foreign exchange, now on the blockchain. I'm only at 7 minutes and 30 seconds of this sauce. I'm the best. And I have to lead by example, right? And then gold and silver and palladium and platinum and copper. The metals market, right? Now gold, again, Pax Gold is digital gold. So when the stock market is supposed to be closed, gold is supposed to stop moving. But there's digital gold that's moving over the weekend. That's just the lead dog. Because eventually the stock market is going to be on the blockchain and you'll be able to trade it 24/7, just like gold. You got to stop playing with me because I'm hot. I'm too saucy. I'm too fiery, saucy. But back to the price. We don't want to go to the left. We don't want to go to the right. We want to go right down the middle. White running back rare. Christian McCaffrey. Back to the price. Remember back when Bitcoin hit its last bottom? Because I talk about the basic scale of 100. I talk about how 15 is the discount. If 40 is not the bottom, then 15,000 is the bottom. This is why I'm talking about the US 30, the Dow Jones versus Bitcoin. But Bitcoin is supposed to be tech. So it relates more to the NASDAQ 100. And you see the NASDAQ is at 25,000. What if the NASDAQ drops to 15,000? Just like Bitcoin dropped to 15,000 before it went to 100K. Because 15K is the bottom. I developed this concept. And I teach it very well. I'm the best. Nobody can do it because they don't know what it is. Now, the US 30 is dropping from 50 to 40. So I already got the sell. I'm taking the sell from 50 down to 40 and catch the buy at 40. But what if it goes through 40 and goes all the way down to 15? I don't think that's going to happen. But if Bitcoin did it, but I don't think the Dow Jones is as volatile as Bitcoin. So I don't think the Dow Jones can make it down to 15, but it can make it to 40. Now, the NASDAQ can make it to 15. See? So I'm already prepared for these positions. I want you to be prepared. Those that are on this journey with me, the community of traders. It's not just my group, my community. I represent the world community of traders. People who want to do things correctly. People who don't condone predatory actions. People who support the truth. That's who I represent. So if that's you, welcome aboard. Welcome to the train of truth. Right? Because everything else is capped. We do it for the people and not the prophets, not the predators, not the clowns, not the clout chasers and gatekeepers. The people that talk about the psychology of trading and investing, get out of here with that trash. It's all about the price. That's what I represent. And I drag clowns. Everybody that's known me in this trading community, that I've been in all these different communities, get kicked out of communities because they can't handle my fire, my passion to do it right or get back in the bed. You got to be consistent and persistent, because that's what wins in the market. To beat the market, you must become the market. The market moves with integrity through the price. And if you lack integrity of the price, you get wrecked. You get exactly what you deserve. Hey.